What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 904 Fishing Podcast. As always, I am your host, Alex, joined by my co-host, Nick.
Going on, everybody? Long time no see, but we're back. We're back.
Absolutely. Yeah, work got a little crazy there for a little while. I haven't been fishing as much because my car needs some parts and some other stuff, but we're getting there. Slowly but
Life's got
surely.
hands.
Yeah, don't it. Don't it. So this episode is going to be about dredging, beach, dredging, restoration, whatever they want to call it, and how that affects fishing. They've been doing quite a bit of that down in St. Augustine, ain't it?
Yeah, that it is. It was my idea to actually do the podcast about it, just
Absolutely.
because last Sunday I went out to St. Augustine Beach, A Street out there with a couple buds, and we drove on the beach. And I said, "Hey, well, if we're going to the beach, I'm bringing, some fishing stuff." And it was that out right there where the St. Augustine Pier is. If nobody knows, they've been doing this however many $1 million, I can't remember. It was like several. It was multiple digits, right? $1 million, restoration project for the beach, that they're pumping sand and dredging sand up onto the beach because of the hurricane damage that has affected the coastline in that area over the past few years. And it's gonna get washed away regardless, and they
Oh,
know
yeah.
that. But now, if anybody fishes the St. Augustine Pier, you're looking at about 50 yards to the water
Yeah, it's
at
insane.
about high tide. If you're standing at the edge of the pier or the end of the pier. So I'm a little upset, for the people that have those. They pay those yearly passes, because now that's pretty much worthless. And I mean, they're gonna have to go find a new spot. But to circle back, we're gonna go over a couple things of. I guess we could do pros and cons of dredging and stuff like that. I know that there's, honestly, to me, I think there's far more cons than pros. But then again, I'm not a dredging expert. I just was fishing in the area afterwards.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The seeing the pier like just stop at the sand. Like
Are you able to pull up a live cam and put it up on the screen?
I don't know if I have a live cam.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
how
I
you
was I
pull
was
up another video inside of this video from YouTube. That'd be
I should be able to do it. I'm just looking. I'm trying to find one.
true.
Um,
But while Alex is doing that, I can update y'all that at least whenever we were out there on Sunday, um, we were we got out there about, I'd say probably an hour after peak high tide. So it was moving out, but the water clarity, there was none. It looked like Yoo-hoo, chocolate milk. Now that could have been also because of just so much rain that we've been getting over the past couple weeks, and those crazy afternoon thunderstorms. But honestly, even whenever we get thunderstorms like that, it's not like it's stirring up the water, because there was a lot of sediment in the water. um, I believe from all the dredging out there. And it was interesting, because it usually only looks that murky like that after, like a tropical storm, hurricane, fresh right after that. There really was no visibility in the water. Um, but the temps felt good. It felt nice. The water temps felt good. Pretty prime time for swimming, fishing right now. But the only unfortunate part is just in that area, the water's just super dirty. I'd like to get out there again and just kind of follow up with it, see how it's looking. But I know that I only caught catfish. Now, I wasn't trying super hard. I was just using a high-low rig with shrimp, um, and just trying that. I was trying different sandbars for casting, and I was only coming up with catfish, a bunch of little baby catfish, and then one baby whiting.
yeah, I was able to get the video pulled up here. I'm going to transition that in. There we go. So that is
Technology.
currently the St. Augustine beach pier location. This is the
Oh
pier
my.
cam on YouTube there. And you can, it's kind of hard to tell from the angle that it's at, but you can see there that the pier does not touch the water. And you can also see, like, in the waves crashing, how muddy and murky and like Nick
Yeah.
was saying, how much like sediment is suspended in that water. I mean, that's insane.
And we've seen
How
it before. We've seen
yeah,
it before
just
plenty
how
of times
dirty
in
that
these
water
different
looks, dude.
areas.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate because they know that after this, you know, I think it was, I don't know if it was 30 million, but I mean it was up there. If you're
It
surpassing
wasn't cheap.
several million, yeah, and they know that, it's going to wash away. This is just pretty much I guess a band-aid when you need stitches, basically. Actually, no, because then that would insinuate that there is a fix. I mean, nature's going to do what nature does, so.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that the reason they did it was like the taxpayers, or I
Yeah.
should say not even the taxpayers, the people that live on that beach
Yeah.
wanted this done because they wanted, you know, their beach to be nice, and they wanted, oh, we don't want to have to worry about flooding and whatnot whenever the hurricanes come because there's no beach here. Da 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 da. Like, dude, I got news for you, Chief. That hurricane's gonna gonna do it regardless,
I
and
mean,
it's
hey, it's job security. Whoever was on the team for doing that.
I guess, man. I guess it's I don't know. It's just one of those deals that I don't understand why they would do it like that.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm trying to think of one of the last places I've seen it. I think it was actually out there near Fernandina. Was that me and you on the kayak? Yeah, yeah. So remember when we went? I think that was when we went with Get Out the House, Go Fish in that creek on that super cold day. And remember we pushed up closer to the intercoastal side through that creek? And remember how murky the water was because we saw them dredging that channel through there?
Yes. Yep.
I think it's
Yep.
same thing, how the water clarity is with that.
Yep. Same kind of
So,
deal.
so kind of a bummer, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we couldn't. It's not like there was any kind of petitions to do it that I know of, or really that probably would have mattered. I mean, they were going to do it either way. But I understand, the idea of it as far as trying to add more beach in there so that way at least the first storm that comes in just doesn't you know flood everything immediately. But I don't know. It's kind of it's really just
It's a
like
kick in
a
the nads to anybody
double-edged
that.
sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a kick to everyone that fishes there, to everyone that you know surfs there, that goes to enjoy the beach. Like, you can't enjoy the beach anymore because there's no freaking beach to enjoy that isn't ridiculously murky and cloudy and you know dusty and like, oh yeah, it'll clear up. It will clear up, but that it's not going to stop anything. Like, nature isn't going to stop. You're still going to have, the next time a hurricane comes or the time after that, you're going to have the same problem with the
Yeah.
freaking erosion. Like, it's not going to do anything.
Fun fact, if you look at the satellite view of the northeast or the southeast and the Gulf, you're going to see literally where the land has been carved from storms
Yep.
over however many
Yep.
years, hundreds of thousands of years, I mean, so it is what it is. But yeah, like it must be low tide right now, or
Yeah, it's
no,
low tide.
honestly.
I just pulled
Yeah,
up the
yeah.
Jax pier cam as well, just to give you a little comparison between the two piers. You notice the Jax pier goes real far out there. Even at low tide, it's going pretty far out there.
hmm
But
I think the Jackson Beach Pier might be a little bit longer too.
it is longer. To be fair, it is longer. But one thing I'm noticing right off the cuff is the water in the Jax pier looks a lot cleaner than the water down
Wow,
in St. Augustine.
yeah, dang, you're right about that. Yeah, I guess I don't know how far out they, dug and dredged to suck up all that sand and then bring it up on the shore, or I don't know how it's necessarily affected all those sandbars through there.
Yeah.
When we were swimming in the water a little bit, I mean, you get out to about waist deep, and then there's just like a super sharp drop off, like a like a trough. And then we tried to be ballsy enough to go and see if it comes up to another sandbar where the waves were breaking, but honestly, we couldn't touch the bottom going from waist or stomach depth till, immediately overhead. We didn't really like that too much. So
Fair.
also with the
Fair.
water being murky, I mean, and plenty of sharks out there. It's their home. They're cruising everywhere, so
Just chilling.
didn't really want to risk that too much.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you were saying with the sandbars and stuff, like I'm curious how this is going to affect it going forward, how this is going to shape the beach now that we've interrupted the natural process of the sandbars,
Mm-hmm.
of the troughs. What is that doing for the environment? What is that doing for, the marine life that's down there? How does this affect things? Because a lot of
Right.
ocean fish are sight predators. They're a kind of fish that that rely on eyesight to find most of their meals and stuff. So it's gotta impact it somehow that the fish can't see as well.
Right. And I'm wondering too, all that dredging, if any, I guess, if it's relocated or, any bait species that are going to be like shellfish or, you know, what's in the water underneath on the bottom,
Right.
you know, of minerals and stuff like that. I mean, plus what's crazy too, I mean, I'm sure it happens all the time when they're dredging different areas. I'm sure that they're probably finding shipwrecks or just
Oh
stuff
yeah,
that's
I'm
been
sure. Yeah, I'm
buried under
sure
the
it gets.
sand
I'm
for
sure that
how
gets
who
found
knows how long.
quite often.
So like that part's pretty cool, um, but it's definitely kind of goofy because the waves were looking all right. Now this that could just be how the sandbars have just been, this week or that week or that month because they change all the time with different tides and how it's affected by the weather.
Well,
Oh, you go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say like the sandbars themselves, they might change a little, but not like they would with dredging. Like I like
Yeah.
when you go in and you start digging 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, however deep down that they dig to dredge up this sand. Because, I mean, dude, they put a lot of sand on that beach. Like, because before, the water line went directly under the pier, under the St. Augustine Pier, and now it's not even touching it. So, I mean, I
Hmm.
can't imagine how many tons of sand that they pulled out of the coast is, and how much that's going to affect things, and what that means going forward. Because I mean, with a sharp drop off like you're talking about, Nick, like that's where you get the big waves, and that's going to create a lot more current. This could affect swimmers as well, because if you're not expecting it, you take one step too far, legs get swept out from under you. Now you're in a rip current that you weren't expecting, and Lord knows
Hmm.
we have so many tourists that come down every year. How is that going to affect things?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even where we parked that on the beach to where I saw a good run out, for fishing because there was sandbar on the left where the waves were breaking, some waves in the middle, not very much, and then another sandbar on the right. So there was that flow out through there, which pretty much was a rip current because then when we swam in it and found the deep spot through there, that current was kind of ripping a little bit. So
Yeah.
we kind of were swimming in a rip current, but you know
Oh,
we it wasn't too bad, but we're experienced enough with it. But I don't recommend it. Obviously, look out for if there's ever that middle spot where there's no waves. Probably don't swim there. Try to swim where the waves are. I mean, that's the easiest way to identify it. It's good to fish there because you know that it's deep and there's current moving through there, and it's going to be bait getting pulled through there and all that, and as well as fish finding them. But
I just
going back, it's hard for the fish to see them.
yeah, exactly. I just looked it up actually. So they added 2.5 million cubic yards of sand So they dredged 2.5 million cubic yards of sand, and it cost $62 million.
There's just so many. I'm just a mere citizen, but damn, I feel like $62 million, you know, maybe beef up the seawall, maybe
Well, and that's the thing is that
or some other
it's not
stuff,
going to do anything for the flooding because they didn't add elevation; they just added more beach.
Yeah,
So the water is still gonna flood. I mean,
yeah.
one Cat 5, all that sand's gone.
Shoot, dude, honestly, even I'm gonna say like a category two if it's coming straight at the coast,
Yeah,
straight
exactly.
along. I think a cat two would even cause some pretty significant beach erosion, like we've seen in the past, where it's like, oh, it's not that bad, it's only a cat two, and then the storm surge is like still 8 feet. And
Exactly.
look at what happened to Porpoise Point.
Yeah, completely gone.
And
Toasted.
Jack is right, you know that they continue to expand beaches, just destroys ecosystems along the coast, and it's sad, but I'm sure it'll hopefully bounce back. But I'm thinking I want to try to avoid that area for some time.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
just because now, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes because that beach has always been, you know, you can go surf fish out there, no problem. It just has those long sandbars. So that's the ones where you either got to cast it way out there or you got to wade out there and cast it. And
Mm-hmm.
also depends on what tide it is, if you can figure out where the deep spots are, or, where you're really wanting to place your cast. But now it's almost like, well, that's a good stretch of the beach to the north of it and to the south of it that, is gonna be a little tricky trying to fish. And I think also down there because it's south of that intercoastal that comes through there by Volano, I don't think there's as much water flowing to also kind of clear out all that sediment in the water. Because then Matanzas is south of it, but it's just in that stretch, a pretty good stretch before.
Yeah, they added an insane amount of dude. I'm going through like pictures and stuff. Like this is ridiculous what they're doing. Also, apparently they're planning to do the same to Jacksonville beaches
Mm.
in starting in the end of 2024.
I mean, they just did it with Micklers too, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they did it to this extent, but I mean, they did it with Surfside Park over there, which I don't even remember if we can see what they've done. But I mean,
Yeah, that there's a
I don't know.
before and
Time will
after
tell.
of the beach there.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they added quite a bit.
See, it's weird though, because they had to have added some like sand up on top, and because I was watching them spread all the sand over evenly with like bulldozers and graders and all that. So they probably added a couple feet of sand. I bet you it's a couple feet higher
I mean,
on
it's
those
gonna be a little higher, yeah,
pilings.
but
But
nothing like what a storm's gonna do to it.
hmm
Storm's gonna take all
yeah,
that out in a heartbeat. It's not even gonna be
yeah.
close.
And I
So,
mean,
so what do you think that means for the fishing community in St. Augustine right now?
I think it's probably going to push them to just different spots or, different stretch of beaches. So Volano from Volano probably up north to about Micklers might be a little bit more packed with people fishing that we'll see. Or they honestly might just have to go a little bit further south, like Crescent Beach or even south of Crescent Beach, almost into Flagler,
Yeah, I'm curious
maybe even towards
how
Daytona.
that will affect like the intercoastal as well.
Yeah, that's a good point because I mean,
Like, is
There's
that this
also
isn't
dolphins
just
that feed
exactly, you
through
know,
there.
this doesn't just affect the beach. This affects the intercoastal. This affects, various not only activities but industries that rely on the ocean to do, to be clean, to be provided. How is this going to affect crabbing? How is this going to affect shrimping? There's a lot more things to take into account than I think people realize. It's like, oh, well,
Hmm.
we didn't have as more beach. Now we have more beach. This is good. It's like, no, not really.
Yeah, because I mean, I know before, like last time I was out there on A Street, I know the water was up pretty close to the beach, which even where you can drive on the beach, it's, you're where the road is, it's right there by the dunes. And then, the rest is coned off. So it used to be, like if you're going to park and drive on the beach and all that, you could park long ways, like facing towards the dunes or facing towards the beach and then have your hangout spot right there, like 20 yards from where the road is, 15 yards from where the road is. So now you have to just park perpendicular to the beach, facing either north or south, and that's your spot because then you have like 5 feet to the road.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's kind of wonky. I'm wondering how that's going to affect like when the pompanos start swimming up, and then also the mullet run when the
Yeah,
mullet
I'm
are
also
really
curious
just migrating.
when and how that's going to affect the mullet run. I was just thinking about that actually.
Because I
It's one of
mean,
those things that I don't think is going to. I don't know. Because mullet so much don't rely on sight. I don't think as much, but
hmm
like the predators chasing them do. You know,
yeah, and I'm wondering if
Jack of all, Spanish mackerel, like a lot of these species
mhm,
rely on
bluefish,
bluefish. Exactly, a lot of these species rely on
tarpon, sharks.
sight. Yeah,
So yeah, I'm wondering too. I don't know if the water's so murky if they know to just keep swimming through it, or if they get like turned around in it at all or anything, or even the sea turtles too. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know how many sea turtles that usually come up on St. Augustine Beach right there. I know that there's usually a lot. Micklers, like from the stretch from Volano up to about Micklers, there's usually, I think that's where I see the most sea turtle nests. But now it gave them a lot longer. If it's at St. Augustine Beach, it gave them a lot longer of a crawl
yeah.
to get to the
Oh yeah.
water. On top of it being
Plus the
extremely
babies
hot
when they hatch.
outside. Yeah, it's hot out there, and then also, they're predators.
Yep. Yep.
That's gives them more time to go after them too.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not convinced it was worth the 62 million to do this when it's just going to be eroded away.
Yeah, that seems kind of like a slap into the face to the community,
Yeah.
possibly taxpayers. I don't know how they paid for it or where that money and funding came from, but this is just our opinions here too. I mean, we're not experts in it. We're just concerned citizens and concerned beachgoers, fishermen,
Anglers, all kinds.
um,
Yep.
anglers, nature enjoyers, beach goers, you name it. I mean, it's just one of those things that it kind of makes you think. And, you know, we've known about this for quite some time. We've talked about it on ourselves, but we figured that would probably be a good talking point to bring it up just to, see what everybody else's opinion on it is. And if anybody has fished out there since as well and how it's affected or changed things or whatnot. I mean, I don't know. And dude, we even were looking for shark's teeth out there because we
Oh yeah,
brought
I'm
one of those
sure.
sifters. So um, we couldn't find anything. It was
Yeah.
just oops all sand. Like there was barely even any shells.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
sure they filtered it before they put it out there so that
yeah.
they wouldn't do it. So yeah, there's not going to be any shells, there's not going to be any shark's teeth, there's, nothing.
hmm I wish that maybe that money could have been spent better on like pollution prevention from going
Something.
into the waterways, like trash. They have like trash nets or trash screens that I don't know. I'm just a man.
But I'm excited to get out there. We're gonna be getting out there soon. I gotta fix the element still. Nick's been getting on me about that. But do you know how much the fans are for the element?
350 for OEM.
No, they're not that bad, thankfully. But I need two of them.
220.
No, I need two of them. 220 is pretty close. I need two of them. They're sold separately, of course. I'm just gonna go ahead and replace both of them because they both are original. And it's an '05, so they've served their life. But yeah,
18 years.
They are 90 a pop.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
I mean,
it should be a pretty straightforward.
I'm just
easy
saying.
swap.
Oh yeah, no, stupid easy, stupid. Yeah, it's like I literally I think it's 4 bolts for each of them, plug and play, whole 9 yards. It's hard to find original OEMs for them, so I'm probably not gonna go with that. But there are like recommended ones for it. Because they weren't a super popular car at the time. They made them from 2004 to 2011. There was 3 different generations of it, and I got the first gen, and first gen manual. Yeah, finding parts for these.
After?
Very sought after. In the Rally Red, it's got the rare color. So I've got the Rally Red 2005 all-wheel drive manual Honda Element, which from what I've been told, I didn't know this until I went to a Element shop. That combo apparently is hard to find, and there's not too many of them because that specific combo was only made in 2005. You could only get the all-wheel drive manual transmission Rally Red Honda Element in 2005. It's the only year they made it. That specific
it's like a cursing
combo.
and a blessing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I got this super, not I don't want to even say rare because I don't know how many they made, but I got this super cool car that they only made for 1 year. It's like, can you find parts? It's like, next question. I don't want to answer. Like,
yeah, I'm sure there's like some good superseded parts too, though.
Yeah, there's good. Well, so in recent years, I'm sure you've seen it, Nick. You're in the car scene as well, but the Honda Element has really like increased in popularity.
Yeah, it's because people have found out and realized that okay, they're all-wheel drive and manual. It's a Honda.
Yeah.
So the Element mainly, I think it got popular that people were getting parts from to make, turbo all-wheel drive Civics.
Yep.
Drag cars and
yep.
Make them all-wheel drive. They just use the driveline from the Element because it would fit in Civics. I don't know about Preludes, but Joseph knows more about the Honda stuff than me. But from what I've collected from him telling me is that it's popular with a lot of swaps. People even take those engines and
well, that's what a lot of people.
Bolt-ons.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. The reason they're not as common as they used to be is like you were saying, Nick. A lot of people would buy them and then rip out because they got K24s in them, the engines.
Yeah.
And they'd rip out like you were saying, they'd rip out the drive system, the driveline system. They'd take out the engine and transmission and then throw it in a smaller car.
Boosted K series
and
with all-wheel drive swap.
Yeah, exactly. They throw it in a little hatchback, put a little Wuhan war whistle on it, call it a day. Start ripping it around the track. But yeah, it's definitely one of those, when they're not put under a ton of pressure and, strain from drifting or rallying or something like that. The K24s are insanely reliable. And I've never had an issue with it. And but it's funny because we'll be driving, like Nick and I, we were going fishing one day at the North Guana outpost, and we were coming up A1A from Bolano. and we were talking on the phone, and Nick said something about drop a gear and disappear, and I said maybe on the bike, like maybe on my motorcycle, but in the element, I drop a gear. The only reason I'm going to disappear is because I'll be going slower. I'm not going to do anything. Like,
drop a gear, I'll be here. You ready for it? Drop a gear, I'll be right here.
Yeah, exactly. Like I drop a gear, the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to send my RPMs go through the roof and slow down. Like, it's not a fast car, it's not a fast vehicle. You know, and
it's an over exaggeration, but still,
it's
I know what you mean.
It's one of those things. Like, people are like, "Come on, Alex." I'm like, "Hey, man, I'll get there as soon as I can."
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. You know, the element. Hey, man, when I want to go fast, I'll hop on the motorcycle and rip it out. But when I'm in the element, I'm not going anywhere fast, and I'm not accelerating quickly. I'm not going nowhere.
Which just adds to the safety, I think.
Oh yeah, well, you know,
but
it
you know
does
what?
0
Probably,
to 60 probably. So.
You know what probably made them more popular in recent years? I bet you since COVID started and more people got into outdoorsy stuff like camping, overlanding, off-roading.
Yup.
I
was
bet
just
you
about to
that's
say
what
that.
did it. Because I mean,
the
there's
element
just an influx of that.
is insane. I mean, you saw when we went camping, Nick. How much stuff did I have in the back of that? And I slept in it.
Yes, he did, and yes, he did sleep in the back of it.
You know, it's one of those things that
works perfect. I mean, like the fact that you had plenty of room. It's like a mix between an FJ Cruiser and a Jeep, I'd say.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I've got the capacity in it. The back of it, I took the rear seats out. I still have them, but I took the rear seats out. And one, because I don't want to transport people. People are like, "Oh, can I get a ride?" I'd be like, no seat, sorry.
I've done that before. I've taken my back seats out because that was,
too many people, man. But and it's one of those things.
I want to go home.
yeah. Can I get a ride? No, you can't. Thank you. Bye. But I mean, when I took the seats out, dude, the amount of stuff I can fit in that car is insane. And the fact that I'm over 6 foot tall. The fact that I can lay down in it comfortably with everything closed on a cot and camp in it is insane.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. And I mean, you know what also is really cool that is a pretty dang solid find if you can find them in good shape, that if you want to use as like a overlanding or similar thing, you just want to use it as a utility vehicle basically, is
What's
the
that?
Honda Passport.
Yeah.
Like the Honda Passport, like a 95, 98.
Yeah. Those are nice.
Pretty cool.
Those are hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Nissan Pathfinder, the Honda Passport. Alec Williams actually had one that was pretty sick, and then Eric Wolf had a Isuzu.
I like the Isuzus. The Isuzus are underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same thing as a Honda Passport of that year. I think it might even have had the same. I don't know if it had the same engine. It might have had a GM engine.
So Nick, Brad got his Type R and whatnot, and we were talking about it, and he's looking at some mods and stuff. He wants to get a wide body kit for it, and probably an exhaust, and some other modifications he wants to make once his warranties run out, whatnot. And but he was talking to me like, oh, like, could I put a bigger turbo on it? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And I said, after your warranty expires. And he was like, what? And I was like, you can't modify anything on the vehicle. If you modify anything on the vehicle, all your warranties go out the window.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, dang, you're right. So then, like, 2 days later, I think it was, he texted me and he was like, hey, couldn't I just buy like a $300 car and just like do stuff to it, like make modifications to it? And I'm thinking to myself, yes, this is how it happens. Yes. This is how it starts. You get the nice daily and you're like, hang on, I kind of want to do stuff to this. And you're like, I don't want to mess up my daily. So then you get another one. But then when you can't do something to that one, you're like, oh, I just get another one. And then before you know it, you got 5 cars sitting in the driveway.
Yeah, it's hard to find cheaper vehicles to, like do some stuff with bolt-ons like that too, just because, they've increased their value because a bunch of people are getting into it. and the numbers just kind of dwindle since obviously they don't make some of the sought after ones anymore. But
And you know what? You know what I really want to
there's
get?
the whole gambler, like the gumball rally or gambler rally, that people just get these junk cars and just make them off-road machines, and then they just go and thrash them till they break.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing is he was like, well, I could buy like a $500 Civic and just do stuff to it, and I don't have to worry about it because it's $500. And I was like, yeah, exactly. That's correct. Yes.
If he can find one for that cheap, but
well, I've been wanting to find something with a blown head gasket.
Yeah.
And I want something to rebuild. Like I want to get a car that has a blown engine, or something that I can really get into, and yeah, exactly. That something I can really get into and like tear apart. I don't have to worry about it running. I don't have to worry about messing anything up, because I'm not going to invest a ton of money in the initial purchase of the car, but something I can. Yeah, there was a Civic at the terminal the other day that we were looking at, Nick, and it was, dude, it had so many AutoZone specials on it. Oh my God. It had the stick-on air scoops.
Oh God, the posers. Dude, that's how you trigger me, bro, because my car actually has a real hood scoop that actually works.
Yeah, like that's what, like, Brad was looking at it, and he's like, yeah, these don't do anything. Mine's do things. Like mine work. Mine actual have function. And like, dude, it had a spoiler that was like a stick-on spoiler on the very back of the hood, or the very back of the trunk. It was so bad. It was, I don't even want to call it a spoiler. It was the slightest little like wing. It was awful.
Like, now I will say in the comments right there, Volvo 240, the coupe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the Volvo 240 coupes, dude. That tickles my fancy of like my Slav origins.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that's my Norwegian friend. So that's
perfect.
That's where he's coming from. Oh,
see. Oh, look, those Volvo 240s are some of my favorite rally cars that they have over there in Europe, because it looks like a fun time.
It's my fun time guy. Yeah, so the Civic, the other I was trying to think of what all we saw on the Civic that was just trash. It had a drift tag on it, a Japanese drift tag on the back.
Oh boy.
Hooked to the tow point. Awful.
You're talking about the little drift charm?
Yeah.
Was it the Sirikawa, the little white handle that's on the subways in Japan?
No, it was just like a red, like I have my motorcycle tags here. It was kind of like this, except a little thicker, and had some kanji lettering on it. And then on the front of it, they had a Civic license plate that said Civic on it, and then it had a bunch of kanji letters on it, like Japanese letters and whatnot. That was just screwed directly into the into the bumper with non-stainless steel screws, so they were just rusted to all get out.
To be fair, I can't talk bad about that, because I did that with a Subaru Rally Team license plate. I just did some self-tappers and into the area where it goes on the front bumper of the WRX, but I use stainless steel.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. If you're going to do that, man, spring for the stainless. Come on. What are we doing?
Yeah. It was probably somebody's first car, and they were just, that's what they had. Which I get that too. I'm not going to be like a
completely stock Civic also.
Yeah, I figured. I try to not be like a car elitist, because I get
automatic,
it too.
Of course.
Sometimes you can't get what you want, and you're just trying to make it, work, or like make it what you want, and that's okay, because at least, But there's a line, all right? I'm tired of respecting all builds.
Yeah, at a certain point, dude, like, did you see what Brad said?
Let's see here.
Some of those Volkswagens are low. You can get them under a semi.
Oof. Man.
All right, Brad.
I think I know somebody that tried that before.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't just try it. I did it. Right under that thing. Yeah, the Volvo is like way past the speed limit. You were questioning your choices because the car shouldn't go that fast. No, see, that's the best thing. Like on my bike, when I'm riding it super fast, occasionally, like as I'm very quickly
60 miles an
accelerating,
hour.
huh?
I said 60 miles an
Yeah,
hour when you
yeah.
said super fast.
No, like I've done it on the highway where I've dropped a gear on my bike and shot up, into triple digits. And as I'm accelerating very quickly in fourth gear to 100 miles an hour, there's this little voice in the back of my head going, "This is a 25-year-old motorcycle. Did you check the suspension before you did this?" And I'm just like, "Shh, go fast, go burr." Go.
I need more throttle.
Need more throttle. Correct. Actually, my throttle's a little sticky. I need to lube it. My throttle cable.
I think the fastest I've gotten the WRX up to one time, I believe, was 131. And I'm not a high speed junkie. I like accelerating fast.
I was about to say I like the acceleration more than anything.
I don't like top speed because, like, no, dude, that's
so many things can go wrong
and
so
that's the thing
fast.
too. A lot of people don't think about too. Just because your car can get up that fast doesn't mean that your tires are rated to go that fast.
There are
Especially if you get cheaper
tires
tires too. Yeah, because that'd be the worst thing to have happen is a tire blow going over 100. I mean, it's pretty bad at 80.
I was about to say, yeah. The fastest.
Yeah, it's stressful.
The fastest I've been. Let's see. In the Passat, I took it up to 140. In my Accord, I took it up to like 110. The bike, I got up to 120. And the Element, I think I got up to like 85 one time.
Pretty solid.
Real quick. And that, like, I got it up to 85 and I was like, all right, settle down. We're not.
Yeah, it comes up on quick if you got something with a little bit of
oh no,
bit of meat.
Yeah, Brad was talking to me about his Type R, and he was like, "Oh, I can like." Someone was riding his ass or something, or something on the road, and he dropped a gear, and he went to go pull away, and he's like, "I pulled away very quickly," and I was like, "Yeah, man, a little quicker than a Tacoma, huh?" Like,
yeah,
little faster than
big
a Tacoma.
difference.
And
it's the gearing. The gearing does it too. You go from like a truck with truck gears, to a car. Like whenever I first got the WRX, whenever I was getting on the highway from Lake City, Osceola area, I was getting on the highway and I was like, "Cool, this is good. Oh my god, I'm going 100. I need to slow down."
Yeah, this is fun. This is neat. I'm liking this. I've done that before in vehicles. Like my sister's car, her Mazda. I can't remember exactly what she has. I think she has a CX-3 or something. But she's got some nice new Mazda, and I was picking her up from the airport. This was when I had the Explorer, and she was like, "Yeah, you can bring my car, because I don't want to ride in your car." And I'm like, "That's fair." That's fair. So I took her car.
Ouch, but okay.
Yeah, right. All right. Hurtful, but we'll move past it. It's fine. But her car, I was just cruising on the interstate, going up 295, going up towards the airport, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of like passing. Oh, I'm going 90. I didn't even feel it, dude. Didn't even occur to me that I was going that fast. I was just cruising. I was like, oh, whoops.
It happens. It'd be like that sometimes.
Studies have shown. See, that's why I want another motorcycle. I want to get a sports bike next and like deck it out and like anime girls. You know what I'm saying? Nick does not know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
No, I know you know what I'm saying, but it's not your style. So you're like, yeah, okay, sure, okay, yeah.
Well, you stopped talking, and I was like, what? Why was this silence dawned upon me?
Right? No, he knows it's his wallpaper, right?
Dude, I have nothing. Dude, I've never liked anime. Like, I even like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. I never liked it because I don't know, the animation style was like weird. I get it, and I will say that there is quite the amount of artistic nature in the animations, but it's just not. It's not for me. But I get it.
Yeah, when I get a sports bike, I'm definitely gonna get a proper bike suit. The amount of times I see people out on the road without gear drives me up a freaking wall, dude. The amount
Oh,
of
there's just one today, dude. He had a tank top on, gym shorts,
in the Harley
looked like
flip
the
flops,
leggings. He had shoes on, but
tennis
he
shoes.
lane split. He lane split on Lane Avenue, where the road's really not that wide. It's 2-lane road, and he lane split down the middle, going probably like 10 miles an hour. No helmet.
Of
Like I
course
said,
not.
tank top, gym shorts, the leggings underneath, and then just I don't know.
The amount of
I don't understand why
be,
people lane split.
because well, it's safer for us, especially if we're at a stop.
Well, no, he went by like 20 cars, like in between them, going 10 miles an hour up to the red light.
Yeah, that's safer for us. If motorcycle, and I just had this discussion with Ryan at work the other day. It's safer for motorcycles not to be in standstill traffic like that, especially at a red light or anything like that, because if something is like were to happen, you're just a sandwich at that point. You've got
Yeah.
no protection, no nothing. It's way safer to be at the front of the line. That's when he was like, "Oh man, I hate that motorcyclists always cut to the front of the line, at red lights and stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, that's for our safety. Like, a lot of guys do it to be dickheads, but that is for our safety." Because if I stop
Yeah,
behind a
such as
car,
anything, you get the bad apples.
there's so many too. Especially like because I drive a cruiser right now, and the amount of times that the old Harley riders that have the backwards ball cap on and the big, sunglasses and the flip flops pull up to me at lights and they're like, "What's up, brother?" And I'm like, "No, please don't talk to me. Please, I'm not associated with you."
Hmm.
Like,
It's a different niche. It's like it's like I'm trying to think. I don't know, man. It's like the Volkswagen Golf nerds. If I offend anybody, good, because your car sounds like a fart. But they'll just be like, "Yeah, stage one, dude. Yeah, it's stage one, stage two." Like, you just say you only have an intake, or just say you have intake exhaust. Nobody says stage. Nobody does that. It's not 2013.
there's danger to the manifold.
Oh god, yeah, and then the bolts just fly out the bottom.
Yeah, his car produced so much torque it twisted the chassis right off the line.
God, oh man, I know, dude. Fast and Furious, like
There's so much
that's
wrong
the
with all
thing,
of
though.
it.
That's the thing.
There's so much wrong with all of
It's
it.
always been cringy looking back at it, but back then, I'm telling you, dude, it just like that.
Granny
Dang
shifting, not double clutching when you should.
Oh man.
Family.
Really though, what we need to be careful for is we need to watch for Hector, and all the spoon parts on his. I can't even remember what
I was
it
about
is.
to
I
say-
always just see it copy and paste. I always see it everywhere.
What? Hang on.
Family.
Yeah,
Brad,
let's
whenever,
don't let this distract you from the fact that Hector's going to be running 3 Honda Civics with
There it
spoon
is.
engines, and on top of that, he just went into Harry's and bought 3 T66
Three
turbos
bottles
with
of
NOS
NOS.
and a Motec
NOS.
exhaust system.
Side note, Brad. Here we go. Here's gonna be my classic. When I finish my car, no. So the STI right now.
Standard
I
Subaru build talk.
can't argue, can't deny it. But whenever I eventually get the engine swapped over, whenever I do the engine swap to my built engine and get it tuned and all that, you're gonna. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna make you want to sell your Type R, but it's gonna hurt your feelings.
No, it won't. He loves
it's
that
gonna-
car, dude.
Yeah, I know. No, you got a good car, dude. You got a good, fun car. It's not the fastest. It's not the slowest. But it's a good commuter car. It's reliable, handles well, it's fun. That's really all that matters. It's fun. But you're gonna get taken to Gapplebee's, dude. You want a margarita with that? I'm horrible at banter like this, so I'll just have to. Hmm. I'll have to send you a picture of the taillights so you can memorize what they look like.
Such a backhanded compliment. I know when he goes, yeah, it's a great car. It's a fun car. It's a good commuter. Like that's such a fucking. Oh my God, Nick. Jesus Christ.
I wasn't even meaning it that way. I was actually being nice about that. Like
the
it's comfy.
the funny part too is, uh, when he was looking at cars and whatnot to buy, he was like, "Oh, should I get a Subaru?" And I said, "I don't know. You want to learn how to work on an engine real quick?"
With what?
I said he was asking if he wanted if he should get a Subaru, and I said, "I don't know. How fast do you want to work on your engine?"
Yeah, I mean, like, it depends on which one you get. If you get a newer one, you don't mess with it, it's fine. I mean, if you do mess with it, then it's really just you got to make sure you have a good tuner. Really, with anything, if you're wanting to build the Type R a little bit once the once the warranty is up, that's going to be your main thing. Is good parts. They'll cost you a little bit, but I promise you it'll cost you more if you cheap out. Because I had to rebuild my engine the second time because I cheaped out with some parts and the tuner.
Yeah, the tuner fucked your shit up.
Yeah, and I mean, it just happened with my buddy Pat too, and his engine
God,
was
that
more built than
one.
mine.
Oh my, that was
But
so painful.
Update for that. He's got it. Well, he's got it covered. It's getting rebuilt now. He got quite
That's
the
good.
deal.
That's good.
And everything's worked out for him. So he's gonna go close deck.
That
can be pushing like 750.
That tuner screwed him over so freaking hard, dude. Oh
yeah,
my God. I'd be so upset. For those of you that don't know, Nick, you wanna tell them what happened?
Pretty much a reputable tuner. Hold on. At first, everything was fine until it wasn't. Pretty much. I mean, this tuner, this guy, it's crazy, man. I don't know, man. He's always busy. He's always got plenty of work. He's always tuning fast cars and everything. Good, notable tuner. And my buddy he brought race gas there, like 110. I forget what it is, but I mean, like ethanol, like race gas, and specifically to be tuned on. That's the fuel you're going to want to use to make power. And for some reason, the guy just kept beating on the car and just trying to make power on pump gas 93, not even E85. And eventually had, what was it? He had his Ringland go, I think on cylinder 2.
Yep.
Which is wild because that was on a forged piston. So stock pistons, you'll have issues with Ringland failure in Subarus, just because pre-detonation, it's hot in there. The metal gets brittle. So, I mean, yeah, it's super unfortunate because there's a lot of trust that goes into it because when you tune, I mean, you got to sign a waiver saying that the tuner's not responsible. But also, when the guy heard a noise and then he just kept tuning through it, he didn't try to check and see if anything was wrong.
He heard it tick and kept going.
It was more than that. It was like a bang. And then...
Jeez.
Then also dumped fuel to cylinder 2 to hide the knock. So then say that, okay, we can't keep tuning, you've run out of wastegate. We've maxed your wastegate whenever the wastegate was plenty. Like, yeah, it had plenty of room to go. So,
and didn't he? Didn't he have it on the dyno and kept it in third?
This was on the dyno.
Well, he shut it off. He shut the car off, and it was in third, but then he kept the dyno on.
Yeah. So then it like chirped on third gear, and that tooth kind of. Pat said that third gear is feeling weird, and I mean it's a WRX that he's done a full 6-speed swap, STI swap to, and the 6-speed is that swap is like, honestly now, with everything included with it, including axles for what he's looking at and for what he's doing, I mean, actually, dude, yeah, it's probably like $8,000, probably $8,000 for everything, and I mean. I don't know. It just sucks. It's getting fixed now, and he's got a better tuner that seems trustworthy. But it's scary because I plan on going through that guy that tuned his car and then blew it up, and I was like, yeah, no, not doing that again.
Actually, never mind. Thank you. Yeah, no, I completely agree, Brad. You definitely have the nicest car in that terminal, like bar none.
Oh, I liked your snap where Brad was like, "Why is everybody parked so far away?" It just like, why is everybody parking down so far away? And then Brad started parking far away because, oh, I get it, because nobody else is parking down here.
Nobody else is parking down there. He quickly learned about how hot metal gear knob gets in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned that one the hard way too. I don't even have a metal one.
Oh, dude, it's rough. It's rough, especially if you don't have a sunshade in. Forget about it. Just gonna suffer. But yeah, it was a 5-speed, but the 5-speed transmissions are glass. I mean, they can hold up some power, but anytime you're making over 320, really, and about even torque, if you launch the car, or you're doing those hard shifts, like bang shifting it flexes, and they have what was it called? They have blast plates, is what they're called, that they go around the transmission and help secure it together to keep from flexing. But it still flexes, and you bind the gears, and then it just oops all neutrals, and it's pretty much like what I've always heard too. Whenever I got the WRX, oh, you should have got an STI. It's like, okay, dude. Well, I don't have the money for that. But then, if you're gonna have it for quite some time and you want to build it, yeah, it's just easier just to get in a wreck and then get an STI out of it, and then buy your other car back that got in a wreck, and then you just pull the engine out of that and then struggle to sell it off because it's totaled. But that's I wanted this. This is the life I chose.
See,
But the
you
STI
could
is
have
about to be fixed too, so
you could have just been could have just been a Honda guy, Japanese guy, JDM fan.
talking about me.
Yeah.
You do realize who makes Subaru, right?
Nope. Actually, I don't.
It is Japanese.
Is it Japanese? I didn't know it was Japanese.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Subaru is a Japanese brand?
Yeah.
No fucking clue. Literally did not know that.
Fuji Heavy Industries, buddy.
Is it really? Hang on, I'm gonna look it up. Not that I don't believe you. I'm just I believe you. I'm just curious now because I've never looked it up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Subaru.
No, it makes sense when you say it like that.
Just got to cancel. Dang, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cancel your channel. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, Subaru is a subsidiary of Subaru Corporation, formerly known as Fuji Heavy Industries, which Toyota has a small stake in. Huh.
Yep.
How about that? I did not know that.
Dude. But yeah, well, see, that's why whenever I got the car, I was like, oh, it's Japanese. Oh, it's 4-door. So insurance is going to be cheap, parts cheap, easy to work on. Well, that's the hardest one. That's the hardest one to work on, and it's a 4-door sports car.
Yep.
So that's where they get
insurance
to, but
goes through
it is worth
the friggin' roof.
It's really not too bad. I think it's still cheaper than like a coupe.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cheaper than a V8 coupe, that's for sure. Or a 2-door V8. Like Corvette is way cheaper than a Corvette, but yeah, you just gotta have that dog in you like a little bit.
See, this is making me want to look at bikes on Facebook now.
No, but the thing with Subaru is like naturally aspirated EJ engines or boxer engines, they're fine. They'll go 300,000 miles, if not more than that. I mean, as long as you just take care of them.
Sorry.
Well, they'll eventually do it, but instead of sending rods to the moon, we just send them across the Earth and back. It's flat 4 of the cylinders are sideways. I love changing spark plugs because I have to pull 3 things out of the way just to get to them.
Look, dude, right here. It's an 84 Honda Magna, $400.
You found a Supra?
Title and keys, fast bike, solid metal, 400 OBO. Port Richey, Florida. Where's Port Richey, Florida? How far of a
The
drive
only
is
kind of
that?
bike I'll get a dirt bike. I'll get a dirt bike.
I'm
But that's
so
gonna be
sick.
it.
Don't give me. Everyone always says when I'm like, oh yeah, I was riding my motorcycle. Everyone always says the same freaking thing, and it's, oh, I knew somebody that died on a motorcycle. Yeah, man, we all do. That's not the point. We all know people that die in cars too, but you don't say that whenever someone's like, hey, I'm looking at buying this new car. And be like, I know somebody that died in a car crash one time. I'm just saying, might want to be
Oh, dude.
careful.
Oh, dude, I love burgers. Well, I know somebody that had a heart attack because they had carotid arteries
Yeah.
clogged up from too much food. So maybe you shouldn't love those burgers.
Right.
Just kidding. We're here for a good time, not a long time.
I'm 12 years over date. I don't know what you want from me. I'm just saying, dude, I could get, look at this, 95 Suzuki Intruder, 1400cc, nice blue paint job. Has the title, $500.
I'd say if you do get a sport bike, or when you do, 'cause I'm sure that you will, I would say put like a bunch of lights on it. Or same thing with your bike, just put a bunch of lights on it just so people can see you, please.
Oh, they can see me. When I'm freaking,
God, what's up with the Supra in the woods? Like in the woods, or just like what was
What?
it, a Mark III Supra? Was it a Mark IV Supra?
What are you talking
What
about?
Brad's talking about.
What is Brad talking about?
He said, Nick, you should have seen the Supra way in the woods in Lake Butler I found the other day.
Where did he say that? Oh,
In the comment, in the live
yeah,
chat.
my thing wasn't scrolling down for some reason.
Oh, true. I actually
I'm still
found,
not
where was
convinced
it?
that was a Supra. I'm not convinced that was a Supra.
Let Papa JDM see. I'll tell you.
I don't think it was. I don't know if he saved it. I don't think he did, but I don't.
Guess you'll have to go right back out there again just to get a picture. I'm just kidding.
He will be.
Was
actually.
it very boxy looking, 80s looking? Was it
Nope.
round?
It was round. The front of it made me think that it was a Oh, the headlights. What did the headlights look like? It wasn't a Supra. It made me
Did
think of
Blobby?
another.
Oh, are you thinking of like an Eclipse GSX, like
No,
a
it wasn't.
98?
No, it wasn't an Eclipse. The back of it definitely had like a Supra wing on it. Like it was that telltale like 80s 90s like Supra like scoop on the trunk.
Did it have the rounded wing?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like Gerald had one in high school like that.
Oh, okay, that's a Mark III Supra.
But the front didn't look the same though. The front looked different.
Pop-up headlights?
No, they were rounded, but not like typical super rounded.
Was it a Mitsubishi 3000 GT and or GTO, the JDM version? Because those had a rounded wing and somewhat similar tail lights.
Oh shit!
Those things are sick.
He might be.
Those
Yeah.
cars were ahead of their time.
It might have been. He's right, Brad. Look up the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. I think that's it.
Yeah, the VR4. Twin turbo V6 in the 90s, all-wheel drive with four-wheel steering and active aero. Way ahead of its time.
He's right. I think that might have been it.
I will say, yep. God, yes. That's one of my favorite cars, but I looked in the engine bay and it's a sideways V6 with turbo, 2 turbos, and there is no room in there. I have more room in my engine bay. Yeah, dude, that one, and they also
That's
had
what it looks like.
The model before that, they had pop-up headlights.
Yeah, look at this. 95 Mitsubishi 3000 GT, Brad. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, dude, those things are sick. They're hard to find, too. Dodge made one. It was a Dodge Stealth. It was the same engine, same platform, just a little bit different outside the car. just like Dodge had the Neon SRT4 that had the same engine that the hold on, no, I believe, because I'm not an SRT4 nerd, but I believe that was the same engine, just branded Dodge, or SRT as the 4G63 that was in the Evo, and the Eagle Talon that was the USD or the USDM version of the Eclipse GSX. So it was just an inline 4-cylinder turbo, like a 4G63. I think it was a 2.4.
It was a good time. We see a lot of weird cars out there in Lake Butler. Brad saw a Pagonia one time.
Oh, who was this lonesome not I with the ain't no Subaru Brat? Those are sick. There's one super clean one I think over at the at Subaru Subaru of Jacksonville. I think it's like yellow. I think I brought it out to SubiFest last year. Pagani.
But yeah, it was
Would I like a beach
insane.
house or would I like a car?
It was insane.
Hey, there you go.
Like seeing that, like seeing a supercar like that, because that's like a bona fide supercar. Seeing a supercar like that in Lake Butler,
What a Pagani?
yeah. Like
Hey, I mean,
seeing a supercar anywhere is kind of neat, but seeing one out in Lake Butler, especially like
yeah,
a Pangea, like it's insane. Because out there, dude, it's nothing but meth heads and elephants. Like it's insane.
he's clearly lost. It must have been a Pagani Huayra. I don't even know how much those are, but yes, they're up there.
I'm pretty sure it was a. I'm pretty sure it was a Utopia.
Utopia.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Utopia? What is that?
Pagani Utopia. Look it up.
I will say I don't know all these supercar names, so
Neither do I. I'm the only reason I do is because I pulled it up. It's the only reason I know.
yeah. They have a Utopia.
Yep, Pagani
Oh
Utopia.
yeah. Oh, Pagani.com. They look cool, dude. I've always liked the Pagani Zonda as a kid.
It's
In
dude.
like Gran Turismo.
The Pagani Utopia is $2.5 million, which is more than the entire net worth of the town of Lake Butler.
He must have had Dogecoin and sold it at the perfect time. Lucky.
Dude, I don't know what it freaking. Also, I told you about how Ryan said that his Tesla looks like a Lotus, right?
The what?
Ryan. He said that his Tesla looks like a Lotus.
Yeah, maybe if you're like high on drugs, but sorry, I can't stand Teslas.
He said his Tesla is basically a we have a Lotus at home. And I said, no, it's not. I have no idea what you're talking about. And then finally, because he kept saying this and we kept giving him like flack for it. And
As you should.
he finally looked up what a Lotus like actually looks like. And he was like, oh, okay, never mind. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And we're like, yeah, clearly.
Yeah,
Like,
Lotuses are actually cool.
yeah, like, dude, like,
I
oh
don't
my
care that
God.
a Lotus Esprit, or what is it? A Lotus Elise is just a mid-engine Toyota Corolla, but it's light. It's rear-wheel drive, manual, summer turbo. They're sick, and nothing's wrong with drugs as long as it's the ones that really aren't drugs.
As long as it's free. Yeah, yeah, his oh my God, dude. And he was like, my Tesla looks like a Lotus. Me and Brad both just looked at him like, okay. All right. Okay.
Poor guy.
Settle down.
It
Also,
was like, oh wait, never mind.
he's like he already needs tires for his rear, right? And
Hmm.
he's like, why do I need like I shouldn't need tires this fast. I've only had it like a year. And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, all them quick accelerations you do, that you're doing a lot of torque right to those wheels, and there's a lot of
It's
weight in
just
this.
heavy.
There's
Yeah,
a
they're
lot of
heavy.
there's a lot of weight in this, and like, yeah, you're zippy and you're fast and you got a lot of torque and it's fun, but that comes at a price, dude. And that price is your tires, because he has a screw in his in the middle of his tread on one of his tires, but the tread's too low, they won't patch it.
Oh, that's tough.
I mean,
It's okay. The work van had 2 nails in each front tire.
I told him, I was like, you can take it to a shop and see if they'll patch it, but chances are they won't. Your tread's at like 2 or maybe 3 mils, dude. Like, it's not going near. What's up, trader?
Mm.
But yeah, it's yeah. See, that's like I have my cars. You know, I have the Element and I have the motorcycle. Kimbra's got the Sonata, but they each serve a different purpose. You know, the Element is for outdoors, funds, fishing time. The motorcycle is for, going fast and enjoying a, ride out on a day. And,
Anti-grass clippings club.
dude, oh my God, don't even get me started. I always heard about that, but I never really understood it. And then I went over it one day and I shifted like a foot to the left on the grass clippings. And I was like, oh, so
Were
yeah.
you
So
turning?
no, no.
Mm.
Like, I lost traction because of the grass clippings, and the whole weight of my bike, like I didn't tilt, nothing. I just over. And I was like, oh, it's like black ice. Like, that's why people say that like that, because I've been on black ice too. Like, it's felt exactly the same. It was just kind of like, you're over here now. And I was like, oh,
Spooky.
okay. Don't like that.
Yeah, it's spooky.
And then, we got the Sonata for the daily grind, getting groceries. It's a good commuter car, like Brad's Type R. Good commuter.
Jeez.
I can't believe
Grocery getter and commuter in the same sentence. Brad, I didn't even say that.
I'm just piggybacking off of what you said.
Oh.
He said, "Oh,
Making me the root."
Don't drag me into this.
I understand that we kind of definitely just went off on this tangent, but I mean, we talked about storm fishing, and honestly, because we're not experts, I don't know if there was really much that we could have
multifunctional.
Could have covered with that too.
No, I mean, we went over it. Fish other places, and we'll see what happens with the water, because the water's too dirty right now. Yeah, I do ride a motorcycle in the 904 area, and yeah, it's insane how many times, how little I've really ridden it, and like, in the big scheme of things, like, I'm not riding it every day. I want to, but it rains every day and I don't ride in the rain.
Yeah.
But the amount of times that I've had close calls, given how much I ride it, is ridiculous. Like, I shouldn't have nearly as many as I do.
It's almost like that's a sign
to get another one. I agree. Yeah, Brad is right. He said, I had intentionally intended to use it for a few of my normal activities. He's referring to like camping, fishing, things like that. But he reversed hard once I got the car. Yeah. I remember that. He said, oh yeah, the seats fold down and it's a hatchback, so I'll just put the kayak in the back. And then he like got the car and drove it home. He's like, no, I'm not. No. Nope. Oh, don't worry. I have a snow rated helmet. I always stay alert. And I don't play games.
That's cool about hopping trains, though.
That is cool.
I have watched videos, and it would be cool.
Allegedly.
Yeah. This is all we're talking about. This one movie. What was it? Hold on. It's the term. You're gonna know the term because I saw a video on it. Dang. Hold on. What was it?
Hobo.
No. Dang it. It was
God dang it, Bobby.
Frisking the Drag, something like that.
What?
It's like this guy was
I was about to
checking
say,
out
give
where
context. Give context.
So this guy was basically in an area where there was like a long freight train stopped, and he knew that it came over there, or it would park right there for a certain amount of hours, and there was an area that he could camp in, like a stealth camp in. Until then, he would go and check the train out and find where a good spot that he could hang out in it, because some of those you know, what kind of cars are they? The flatbed cars. Sometimes they'll have a floor, like a little 6x6 that you can lay down in. Some of them don't have a floor in them at all. And he's like, you can tie yourself in, but I wouldn't. And I was like, yeah, that sounds not like a good idea. But yeah, he would, just go and checking cars, and then he'd go and he was telling about how he like traveled all around the country. Sometimes they'll have a floor. Yes.
Nick, 2023.
2023.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe last year. I probably said that last year.
He definitely
maybe.
said it last year at some point. I fucked up, but I'm sticking to it. But yeah, you guys, coming back into fishing just real quick, keep an eye out. I got a new toy. I'm very excited to go use. We definitely won't be able to use this in St. Augustine, but I got a new toy. It's an AquaView camera. And it ties in your fishing line. You tie your leader here. You tie this to your main line. And then as you're trolling or fishing or you got anything like that, this is a camera that records your bait, records your, lure, whatever. And I'm very excited to use it and try it out and see how it does. See what kind of footage I can get.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Honestly, that'd probably be a good spot a good spot would be by the Volano Pier, because that water's real clean.
I've thought about like just dropping it down in the pier, seeing what happens there.
We've seen a boat ramp where there's that dock out there.
Yep. Do that one. It just records. No, I can't get a live feed from it.
It's still pretty solid though.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's even got audio. I didn't know it had audio, but it's got audio too apparently. So
we can hear what the fish are saying.
Right. Look at this
Hey, dude,
guy's
did you
bait.
see that? Look at this shrimp over here. Dude, this looks good. No, I'm not really feeling it. I think I'm going after fiddlers today.
Write that down.
Yesterday. Yeah, right.
But we're probably gonna wrap it up there, you guys. Nick, you got anything else to add?
We're gonna get out there again. It's just been, we got all these other other things popping up on the weekends, whether it's,
Birthdays, vehicle maintenance,
birthdays,
disc golfing.
Weather. Just relaxing. Got to be able to, rest the old bones a little bit too. But, and it's just been hot, so it's been like really hot, which nothing new there. I mean, we know it's summer, so it just makes it a little bit tougher, because if you're gonna get out there and go fish, you're really just gonna want to start out there early, because as we've seen in the past couple times that we've gone fishing, that once the sun's up and it's getting hot about 10:30, 11,
cuts out.
The bite just falls right off. So I mean, which then also afternoon fishing and kind of end of the evening or sunset, that's been a good time as well too. And just same thing, following the tides, and as long as you got moving water, we prefer high tides, I'd say. Whether it's incoming or outgoing.
Yep.
Is usually what's key. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've been out in the kayaks. I want to get out there and do it again, because I miss it. And me and Dallas were talking about it too. We still do want to go give Moultrie Creek another try, but this time with the upper hand information as far as popping corks, live shrimp, probably not mud minnows, but fiddlers, live shrimp, popping corks. Fish the deeper areas, maybe even, I don't know if you want to bring the deeper out there, and we can maybe find good spots where, might be better fishing.
Yeah, some deep holes. Yeah, man, absolutely.
And that's what it is. They stopped a crew change. That's what the guy was talking about too.
But, all right, y'all. Appreciate you turning into this episode of the 904 Fishing Podcast. We'll be back next week. And I got to get off my butt and edit those videos. I have 2 videos right now I haven't edited and haven't put out yet. But keep an eye out for those, you guys. And you got anything else to add, Nick?
Should be it. Just everybody be safe. I mean, stay hydrated, stay, protected from the sun if you can. Long sleeves, those UV fishing clothes, and a good hat, a good sun hat is crucial. Sunscreen, buffs, y'all know. And then, yeah, honestly, for a little bit until that water clears up, don't know how long it's going to be. Probably avoid fishing near St. Augustine Pier. But still, get out there, go after work, or if you're a madman, go before work. You're probably going to call out, but understandable. But, just get out there, have fun on the weekends, do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to put the fun aside for, just doing the important things and just keeping up with everything, because be like that sometimes.
Or do it at work.
It's really about it for me.
Yeah, man. Well, alrighty, guys. Keep an eye out on some new content coming out as soon as I edit those videos. And until next time, you guys, keep your lines tight, your cast long, and your stories true. We'll see you.
Have a good